everyone, welcome to my channel today. If you're new, I am so glad you're here. I hope that you like my videos and like them with a thumbs up and subscribe down below. So today I'm going to talk about how do I know if I have a hearing loss? This is a big question that people always ask me. How did you know you had a hearing loss? Well, I didn't really know. I was diagnosed at birth. But that does not change the fact that I can give some advice to people to assess whether or not they know if they have hearing loss. So here we go. I'm going to give you 5 things that may possibly indicate that you have a hearing loss. And remember that worst case scenario, if you do follow these 5 things or you think you may have a hearing loss, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. It's a bad thing if you don't get it checked out. So make sure you go to a certified audiologist, a real doctor. There are a lot of agencies and hearing aid sellers out there. In fact, almost anyone can sell a hearing aid right now. You can buy them at Costco. I'm sure that Best Buy will start coming out with them, and they are not reliable. Why is this? It's because the hearing aids come with many intricate programs. And when you go to an audiologist, not only do they talk to you and help you, but they test your hearing and they set the hearing aids at appropriate levels. If you just go to any store or any Miracle Ear or any just hearing aid distributor, they will not and cannot do those tests on you. And we cannot know if the hearing aids are working properly for you. So if you find out that you may have issues with your hearing, just remember to go get your hearing checked out by a doctor, by an audiologist, and make sure that they are certified. Not just someone licensed to sell hearing aids, but a doctor that knows hearing and how to help you. So remember, if you're going to go buy hearing aids, talk to the person and say, are you a licensed audiologist? Not a licensed hearing aid seller, but a licensed audiologist. That's important. Okay, here we go. We're going to jump into this. Here are the 5 possible indicators that you may have a hearing loss. Number 1, can you follow a conversation? For example, do you feel like you understand what people are saying? Do you feel like you're in tune? Do you feel like you can actively, proactively say what's going on and be able to respond accordingly? This leads into number 2, social mimicking. If you find yourself mimicking people as they talk. For example, if someone's talking, if you're watching people out of the corner of your eye and laughing when they laugh, or going, oh, when they do that, just like mirroring their emotions, then that can be a sign that you have a hearing loss. I'll be honest, I do this all the time. If I don't quite understand what's going on, I'll just copy the emotions of those around me. So I'll just say, oh no, he didn't. Or like laugh when other people laugh. I'm really good at that. But if you pay attention closely, I'm just a snippet behind. It's really interesting. So there is nothing bad about the social mimicking. It's just you try to keep up with the speeds. But if you can go have your hearing checked, I definitely recommend it. Okay, number 3. If people are constantly saying, we just said that, it's so funny. Sometimes I'll be sitting with a group and it will come around to me and I'll be like, guys, I have this great idea, like, let's go get ice cream. And everyone says, oh, yeah, you know, Sophie mentioned that, so we're going to go get ice cream. That's what we already decided on. If you find yourself coming up with these, like, great, brilliant ideas and proposing it to people and they say, we just said that, that is an indicator that you are hearing it but not understanding it. So that can be an indicator of a hearing loss. It's not uncommon to have that happen. It's embarrassing, it's not fun, and people are like, wow, were you even listening? You just have to pay attention. That can be really hard because if they said, we just said that, you feel like you're kind of out of tune, then you start isolating yourself, and that's an issue. I've actually heard that hearing loss can be a contributor to Alzheimer's and dementia, and this can be because sound stimulates our brains and our auditory lingual processors. And if we aren't getting sound to our brains cannot function. It's like a muscle lifting weights. If our brain is not lifting the weights of the auditory connections and our auditory lingual processing part of our brain, it starts to deteriorate if it's not growing. and that's exactly what Alzheimer's and dementia do. So it's important to take care of your hearing. Okay, number 4. If people complain that the volume's too loud, a great way to get a gauge of this is turn on the TV, turn on the volume, and see if anyone says anything about it, whether it's a football game or your favorite TV show or anything like that. And feel free to, if they don't say anything in the first 30 minutes, ask, is the volume at a good level for you? And if they say it's a tad bit loud, don't be too concerned. But if people outrightly say it's loud, you should get your hearing checked, definitely go get it checked. I think that there are so many people that are in denial of having bad hearing that they don't want to go get their hearing checked. So for example, I know 2 elderly people that I love very much, and for the longest time they would not get hearing aids even though we knew they needed them. And finally they got them and realized how much they had been missing out on life. And so if you think remotely that you could use hearing aids, stop missing out. Go get your hearing checked. Just get it checked. That's all you need to do. Don't worry about getting hearing aids, but get it checked. Here I am. I'm 25 years old, and I wear 2 hearing aids. Does anyone think, oh, she's getting old? No. It just makes sense to take care of your hearing and enjoy life in your ears while you have them. Number 5, another gauge of whether or not you may be experiencing hearing loss is how many times do you say what in a day? My sister and I, we for the longest time had what counts, where we would count how many times we would say what in a day. And it's interesting because hearing aids last about 5 years. So every 5 years, you typically have to get new hearing aids if they undergo typical stress and use of daily activity. I kind of noticed that when I get new hearing aids, it's an adjustment period. It's always an adjustment period. And they're really good for a really long time. And usually towards the 4.5, 5 year mark, I start saying what so much. And everyone says, is it time for new hearing aids? My mom definitely will ask. It seems like it's time for new hearing aids. And so my what count is definitely an indicator of needing hearing aids or hearing assistance of some sort. There you have it. There's 5 things that can help you know whether or not you have hearing loss. 1, can you follow a conversation? 2, do you participate in social mimicking? Do you copy people's emotions in a conversation? Do you realize what they're really saying and how you're really responding? 3, do people say, we just said that a lot? If they say, we just said that, then you know that you're missing out and not understanding. Getting new hearing aids or realizing that you have a hearing loss could help. Number 4, do people complain that your TV volume's too loud? That might be an indicator. And number 5, how many times do you say what in a day? If you say what a significant amount of times in a day, I would say every 3 or so sentences is very frequent. If you have to say what about 2 to 3 times in a conversation, that definitely indicates that you may have a hearing loss, and I recommend getting it checked out by an audiologist. So remember that. If you have any of those 5 things, definitely keep it on your radar. But if you have all 5 of those things, definitely just go get your hearing checked. Check your medical benefits. If you're able to go see an audiologist, go get it. You may or may not need to have hearing aids, but if you do need them, your family members and your friends will really appreciate it. You will be less likely to feel alone and isolated, and you will feel more involved in conversations, and your self-confidence will increase. You'd be surprised. Anyway, there you go. If you have any questions about indicators of hearing loss, let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Have a great day!